It is 2024 and we are absolutely spoiled when it comes to building in Minecraft. Over the last 2 updates, we've gotten not 1, not 2, not 3. No, actually, it was 3. We got 3 new wood sets, which is crazy. Not to mention, in the upcoming 1.21 update, we're set to get an expanded tough block set, which is both hilarious because it's another grey block, but also amazing because grey stone blocks are the foundations of so many different Minecraft builds. We're also incredibly spoiled when it comes to creative building and mods, specifically a mod called Axiom. If you haven't heard of it, well, Axiom is a creative building mod that combines aspects of the best building plugins into one super clean tool that expands on them, turning it into the perfect package for taking your creative building to the next level. Except that I don't know how to use it. So I thought, why don't we just learn it together? This is going to be kind of like a short series. I want to try and learn all the different tools this mod offers and use them to try and make something that's super cool. If you already know how to use it, maybe you can help me by commenting anything that I missed or got wrong down below in the comments. The developer Mulberry also has some awesome in-depth videos on his channel for specific things as well as updates. So if you want to hear it from the source and keep up to date with new things coming out, check out his YouTube channel. Alright, so when you first log in, this is what you're going to see. Not the stuff behind me, but down the bottom to the right of the hotbar, there's like a little icon. If we scroll to our 9th slot and then go one more to the 10th slot, you'll see we're now over this little icon. If I hold down my left Alt button, it brings up some different options that we can click through. You can also scroll through them. Yeah, so those are your essential tools. There are so many cool things in this mod here. These are the ones you're probably going to find that you use most of the time. Okay, so I've set up a little demonstration here so we can go through the tools real quick, one at a time, and see what they will do. They're pretty self-explanatory, and if you've used World Edit before, you should be able to pick up this stuff pretty quickly. So the first one we have is move here. If I scroll again to my 10th slot, it comes up with like a little instruction on the screen, first point, with a little icon to the left it's supposed to be a little mouse, and the left button is highlighted red. So that means we left click to do that instruction, and then the icon changes to being the right button highlighted, and we select our second point. So that is how you make a selection. This is the same for everything that we do here. Once we've done that, it gives us 2 more instructions. So scroll to move and click to extend with the middle mouse button highlighted. So for the bottom one, click to extend, I can middle click around, and you will notice that my selection is now growing. It's getting huge. It's massive. So that is how we use that one. We can change. We can use our left and right click as well. We can sort of revert back to our original selection. Now the top one says scroll to move. So if I scroll, I'm going to move it in a direction. And it's actually giving us arrows here. You'll see a blue arrow pointing that way and then a red arrow pointing that way. And if I look up, it should switch to a green arrow. That tells us which direction we're going to be moving it in. And if I go 45 degrees, at some point it's going to snap between this axis and this axis. And so if I scroll, we're going that way. And if I start turning, you'll notice it snaps. And we're moving that way. I can move it up. I can also move too. So there's a middle click button. If you see on the middle there, that just means we move to that position. So that's really cool. You know, we can put our little red box on the hills there on top of that cherry tree. So that's really cool. This is honestly one of the tools of all time. You use it for so many different things. And so if we're happy with that, we can right click to confirm, or we can left click to cancel. And there we go. So that is move. So next up we have the clone tool. We're going to scroll again to our 10th slot, hold down the left Alt, scroll up one, or click onto the clone tool. This is very similar to the move tool in the sense that we use the same kind of idea of selecting and then scrolling. But rather than moving, we're making an exact copy, a clone of it. So if I scroll over this way, I've made a copy. To confirm, I right click. And then I can also have the option of continuing, making more copies. I can put one here. I can put one here. So that's really cool. And then when I've finished, I can left click. But say I didn't want that, I can press Control Z, and we're going to go back, and we're going to be undoing all the things we did. So that's really cool. And that goes for every tool that we are going to use here today. And I think everything within the mod itself is all based on that undo sort of history thing, which is really cool. If I do it again, it gives me a couple options down on the right there. So Control R, if I press it, it rotates it 90 degrees a couple more times. And then Control F flips it, I believe, in the opposite direction. So that's really cool. And then to confirm again, I right click and then left click to finish. And there we go. That is clone. All right, the smear tool. It's very similar to the stack tool, but it does something a little bit different. And it's really cool. So let's check it out. So we'll choose our smear tool. I'll select just this blue wall here, 1 block by 3 by 3 this way. And so if I smear now, I'm stacking it. So I've made a stack. If I go one more time, we've intersected with that red pillar. If I keep going, it's only going to continue to smear into places that there are air blocks available. So once you've hit a wall, it's going to stop the smear. So if I confirm that, boom, that is what you're going to get. So rather than complete stacks, we're just going to be extending until we hit an obstacle. The smear tool does something else that's really cool. So unlike with the previous tools that we've looked at, where you can only sort of snap to a certain axis, this one actually kind of, I don't know, it stretches it. It's kind of like a giant rubber band, and we can go and smear it on crazy angles and create some really interesting shapes with this. So that's going to be a whole lot of fun to play with later on. But yeah, that's how the smear tool works. The extrude tool is pretty cool. It's pretty self-explanatory in the sense that it extrudes things. So if we choose that, right click to expand and left click to shrink. So if I right click here on this blue, once, twice, 3 times, I've expanded it. Only the blue one. So it only extends the blocks that you've clicked on. And if I left click, now I'm shrinking it down. So we can do that with the red and blue individually. And we can sort of just choose what we want to expand and what we want to shrink. Getting to the end now, we have the erase tool, and I'm pretty sure you can figure out what that does. It gives us 2 options once we select it: erase box and erase connected. So erase box means that I make a selection, so we choose our first and our second points. It also gives us the option to extend if we want to delete everything. So we don't want to do that. So let's get off that. The other option is erase connected. So kind of like the extrude one, it gives us the option to erase only the blocks that are connected to each other. So if I right click here in the middle, I'm going to erase all of the red blocks. And I can also do the blue ones one at a time. If I didn't want to do that, I can Control Z and bring them all back. So that's really cool that you can sort of do it all. Choose what you want to erase. I don't know. Anyway, that's really cool. That's the erase tool. Okay, so this last one is pretty complex. I don't know if I'm going to be able to explain it very well. Set up symmetry. So it gives us one option to right click and place symmetry. So this point, I believe, is kind of like a mirror. So if you build it on one side, it's going to flip it on the other side. But we have to tell it which way to flip and which way to mirror. So it gives us a couple options. We can press Control F to flip. There we go. So now once we build on this side, it's going to flip it to this side. Actually, let's grab a couple blocks. So the arrows are actually really helpful. They give you a clear idea of where you're building and where you're copying it to. And it doesn't matter where, as long as you're on this side of the arrows, it's going to copy it to the other side. So that is how that works. If I scroll back to the tool and I change the way I look. So this says Control F, flip X. If I turn that way, flip Z. And if I look down, it's flip Y. So it's dependent on the axis that you are looking as to which one that you are deciding to flip on. So that's how that works. Possibly my favorite thing about this tool, though, is if you press Control R, it enables a rotate sort of function. And this is really cool. So it rotates what you're building around every axis. So you can see right there. It wouldn't take a lot to go ahead and build some crazy castle tiles with that. And it works with deleting or like breaking blocks as well. Really cool tool. I want to try it out sometime. And when you're done with it, you can press delete and that'll clear your little point there. So these are the like essential quick access tools that you can get to. I want to do some building now. I want to make stuff. I'm really like inspired. But one thing I wanted to mention, if you're not over the 10 slot and you press the Alt button, it's going to bring up this menu, which is a bit different. We'll talk about it more in a future video, but you can switch game modes. There's a bunch of really cool little functions over here. And then this is your flight speed. So if we turn it up, we can go crazy. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that. And I think you can... Oh man, it's so cool. You can like switch things into your offhand as well. Really cool, really cool. Anyway, let's do some building. Okay, so it's been a few minutes. I took a little bit of time to just make sure that I still remembered how to place blocks, and I've started working on a bit of a townhouse. So the main goal here is, if behind me, maybe behind me, I want to build like a giant mountain. And on top of the mountain, I want to have a castle and some townhouses. So that's what I'm working on here. I'm building it at player scale. I really enjoy building at this scale. Player scale just means it's kind of your player's size. Everything is proportionate to the size of the player, which is like 2 meters or 2 blocks tall, like that. So I'm doing like floor, and then 1, 2, 3 blocks, and then the next one is the full block. So I'm trying to create like a bit of a template for a bunch of assets that we're going to put on top of this giant mountain here. So Yeah, this is where we're at. I kind of want to do like a 3-story building, but I'm not sure about some of these windows down here. Like I'm not sure. They kind of feel a little bit small, and so I was just using this tool here. I can lift it up, and I can see if it looks better 1 block higher. And I need some trapdoors for this part here. So I can see, I'm like, oh, I kind of like that, to be honest. If I didn't like it, I could press Control Z and throw that away. My drop lock button is bound to my Z key. Yeah, so I can try things. If I like it, great. If not, I can just hit Control Z and revert it back to how it was. So yeah, that's been really helpful. Another thing that I'm trying to work out is whether I want this depth there or whether I want it sort of flat. And so again, we can use the tool. I can just select that. I can hit delete. And maybe I want to actually do something like a little bit more like this. Get the stack tool, stack it across. It's really quick. It's actually, it's really good. I'm having a lot of fun. So just messing around, and say that I was happy with this. If I choose this top point and then here, I can just stack it up, and now I've got 2 stories. So, you know, it's pretty quick. I can sort of start to put a house together pretty quickly. I say quick a lot of times. My bad. Gonna try to do some dormer windows. I think we do something like that, and we could be cool. Could be cool epic builders and use scaffolding. You can kind of see through the sides though, so maybe not there. So we maybe go for like the birch trapdoor. It's not bad. It's not bad. Let's put it on this side as well. Then we can just add the glass behind, and hopefully that finishes it off. Ooh, I think it's good enough. I think it's okay. What if I tried this? Do more stairs. I actually like that more. I like that a lot more. Ooh, yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Oh, this is my favorite thing to do as well. I love taking some glass and I'm doing this. So you just do like, boom, one there, and then a couple more. So I've got a house. I've got one. I need to obviously do the rest of it. But what I want to do now, and this is what I was hoping would work, is that these would kind of tile next to each other. And if you didn't know this, you can, I'm pretty sure it works the same as World It. So I can type in position 2 rather than having to, you know, right click on that second position. And I can just stack these along, create a row of like shops, and then I'll change the colors on these. So I'll do like a brown one, and then maybe one that's like orange, and then one that's gray. I think I need a little bit more variation, and I think as well, I don't like the double up here. I don't know. I don't know if I like that. Maybe I could try some glass. If I didn't like that, which I don't, Control Z, boom, throw my block away. Okay, cool. That's a really good start. Cool, so I got a little bit carried away. I thought because I've got this cool building mod, I could probably try and build a little bit bigger, add some more details in. And then I thought, why didn't I just build something completely different while I'm at it? Things are happening, things are evolving little by little. But yeah, I like this simple little townhouse that we started with, and I'm not throwing it away, but I thought, yeah, as I said, I should probably try build at a slightly bigger scale, add some more details, and I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out, this version here. But then I wanted to try something a bit different, do a different roof shape, try some different colors, kind of. And I really like where this is going. I started doing like a little bit of texturing. Actually, this has got like a really cool function, this replace mode. It doesn't add blocks, it just replaces ones that already exist. So that's been really fun to texture with. I don't like where that's going though. So I can just switch back to this, go around. That is so cool. That's a really fun way to sort of get in there and change the blocks up. But yeah, I think this is actually probably more the style that I want to go with for our build that we've got going on here. It's 2 stories. It's a little bit skinny at the moment. I might have to make it like a little bit wider. I don't know. I'll play around with that. But I like the style. I like where it's going. I like that it's a little bit bigger, a little bit bulkier, you know, built up off the ground a little bit. I'm into it. I need to turn this thing off. There we go. But yeah, overall, my first kind of go with Axiom has been pretty good. It's a really powerful mod. I do have a couple critiques about it, things that I'd like to see. One thing that I use all the time with World Edit, I'm a long time World Edit user, and there's a set command where you can sort of select a point and a second point. In fact, I think I might even have World Edit installed on this instance. You use the X, you select your points, and then I run the command set whatever block I want. So I can do 3 for dirt. I use that all the time, and it's really helpful. Like I can do, you know, a strip of this thing here and just run that command again. undo. I couldn't find anything like that in the Axiom menu. Maybe I missed it, but that would be really cool to have. As I said, I use it all the time, and I've been kind of missing it a little bit, but maybe it's just me kind of learning a different way of building. Maybe these tools are all I need, and I just need to get used to having a different set of tools. I don't know. Still a lot of things that I need to figure out as we go, but this has been really fun. I can kind of, now that I've got sort of the template down, I think I can kind of see where we're going with this. I can kind of see a whole bunch of houses looking like that up on a big mountain. Anyway, that's episode 1 of Learning Axiom with me, Loris. Make sure you subscribe. We're going to be doing more of these short little series. In the next one, we're going to be hitting the right shift button and getting into this absolutely crazy thing. This is whack, guys. There's so much, there are so many things. Like, look at this. That's crazy. See you next time.